Hey, what is going on, guys? Verlinel here, come back at you with another batch tutorial. Alright, now this one isn't really too much of a tutorial, it's more of like a demonstration or a little showcasing of a pretty awesome and interesting tool that you might want to use later on down the line. I know I will be. If this actually turns out to be something you don't want to use, dude, go ahead and skip this tutorial, don't worry about it. But in all honesty, I think it's kind of cool. This kind of adds on to our little customization theme that we've got going on right now. It allows you to make the shell a little bit more of it, little bit more of your home, make it more of a more comfortable environment to work in, and it gives a lot more functionality to the shell as well. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out though. If I bring down CMD, I want to introduce you guys to this script that I had found that will allow you to modify the color of the output and the text that you're displaying in CMD.exe line by line and like piece by piece. Because normally when we're working with color in the shell, what it will do is when we modify things, like let's say I want to change the color, have a white background and a bright white background and like black text. So if I did color F0, that modifies everything inside of the shell. Everything is the entirety of the background is white. The entirety of every text piece, every character on the screen is black. But let's say I only wanted to like display out onto the screen "Hello World" in one color. What if I wanted that to be like red or something? Well, I'll type in color right now to change everything back to normal. What if I wanted to be able to do that? Well, I want to show you. I want to share with you guys a nice script that I found, and I fiddled with it a little bit. I modified it so it works with command line arguments and that sort of things. And I'll get into that pretty soon. But for now, I want to show you guys color message. Now, color message takes some arguments. If you don't pass any to it, this is the error message that you will receive. But that's not really a big deal. But first of all, we actually need the color and the information that we're going to be passing to our program. So if we take another look at color and what our options here were to be working with, let's say I want to echo out "Hello World" in red, just like I was talking about. So I'll use C, like this light red thing. Now, if I use color message, C, and then I'll pass in the string "Hello World," it will go ahead and display "Hello World" in red text and that sort of thing. It'll interpret the exclamation point the way it should be. It interprets a lot of characters the correct way, which is really awesome. This is a great script, and you know we can change it to do just about any color. Let's use like 3A. Turtle colors. I spelt that wrong, but it's got like this light green color on the sort of aqua background, that sort of thing. So we have some really cool functionality here because we can use anything that is right up here in the color normally that we'd be working with, and we can manipulate it with our color message script. So it's awesome. But before I actually get started showing you what it is and how to modify it and that sort of thing, at least what I've done to it, I want to show you how this all got started. Because if you Google this sort of thing and try to look this up all on your own, you'll probably get redirected to Stack Overflow, which is a really nice programming website for nice programmers and that sort of thing. But one guy was curious, hey, how can we actually get different colors per line in batch? So they were trying to think this over, and a guy had actually showed someone else's answer, one from Jeb. So this is his script that he came up with for a little bit. But the credit he was giving went over to Jeb, and Jeb is a pretty cool guy, apparently. He makes some nice batch stuff. But his post, right over here, was allowing multiple color outputs without any external programs, just the way we've been doing, and uses all these temporary variables. It uses temporary files, color, finding strings using the prompt, redirecting input in and out of things, that sort of thing. It's crazy. And now he tries to make more characters to be validated with it. But someone else realized it still doesn't handle all the characters just yet. So someone else had tried it one more time and built something. So the answer that they had came up with didn't have all the functionality for everything, like all of these forward slashes and some other things, some exclamation points, that sort of thing. So he improved it, he created a new script with it, and here was it all right here. It allowed him to do that sort of thing. So there it is. I want to give thanks to D. Benham, who modified a lot of other people's code, tried to collaborate with the other guys online, and built something really great here. So it's awesome. I'll actually show it to you now in Notepad++, though. We can go ahead and open that right up there, and it's in my user profile right now. and it's color message. So right down here, first we just call a lot of the functions that are going to initialize the stuff that we're going to be working with. That's this function right here. And if you actually notice, when he declares a function with a label, he actually uses space and then actually show the arguments that you would normally be passing into it. So it's pretty cool. You can actually, it's a good way of knowing what variables you're going to be working with when you're working inside that function from the programmer standpoint. So that might be a good idea when you guys are programming. That might be something you might want to do or you might be up for. But anyway, you can see down here he uses the exit like /B, and what this will do is actually it's very similar to our little go to end of file thing. So it's sort of like going to the end of the function, and really that's all you have to worry about because I'm pretty sure you may not have seen that command yet. But it does everything it needs to do. It cleans up. But right up here is where all the magic really happens because this is no label. This is just sort of like the essential main function. This happens first and that sort of thing. But after you initialize it, what we do is we call the color print function, and what that does is going to go ahead and display it out. But we need to know the color that we're working with, so we pass that in as the first argument. And now normally when you're working with command line arguments in the script, you would be using the % and the number you're trying to access. It's a lot like when we're working with functions. You can see we use the number right down here, but we use a tilde to separate the % and the number. For the command line arguments, it's just a % and a number, so that's all you have to worry about. And that's exactly what we did here. We passed in what we had passed into the script for that function, and here we do it again for with the string variable, and we go ahead and echo the string out in that color. It's awesome. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and run through the entirety of the script with you guys. I don't want to give you a little walkthrough, but you can read through it on your own time if you're interested. There's a lot of stuff going on here. It is pretty hectic and crazy, but a lot of these commands and terminologies and logic flow you might be able to understand because we've gone through some of these concepts in the previous videos. But that's the script. I'll let you guys play with it. And for now, though, I want to show you guys how we can try and move it somewhere else. Because another interesting thing is it's not actually in our directory, our system path. Because if I moved into my desktop and tried to run color message, it's going to let me know that it doesn't actually exist there. So if I open up Explorer, though, and I move it into my system path, which is by default Windows System 32, if I copy and paste color message and move it into C Windows System 32, there's a lot of stuff in here, but we can just plop it right in. And now no matter where I am, I can run color message. See red text. So there you go. It runs it perfectly fine, no problem, very awesome, good stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's really a nice little tool. We're going to be using it a hell of a lot more. Hopefully it's something we're going to look at in the future, though. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.